We got everything we need right here. Spray guns, paper. This is all the paint, primer, base coat, clear coat, reducer, 2 different types of hardener, adhesion promoter, some measuring cups, some tack rags, some stirrers. Everything we need right here to paint the entire car. And that is what we are doing today. Painting, or at least starting to paint. The goal of today is to primer the entire car. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. We have to start by taping everything up. So tape off the windows, the trim, everything that needs to be taped up has to be taped up. Hatch is all taped up with some nice smooth lines. Remember, we're not using plastic because plastic attracts dust, dirt, overspray, not good things. I will say that the paper, a little hard to fold around edges, but you know, that's okay, we got it. Alright, the car is all taped up. Rear tail lights, everything is good. We are almost ready to paint, however, not quite there. We gotta bring all these guys in there and set those up, and then we have to put on these filters on the fans. Fenders are in here. The bumper is also in here. So as you can tell, I taped off the rear bumper. And that is because we have to paint just the bumpers with this stuff. This is adhesion promoter. Pretty much it makes it so the paint, well, the primer and the paint will stick correctly to the front and rear bumper since they are plastic. It makes it so they won't chip off in the future and it'll actually stick on. So we have to spray just the bumpers and the spoiler, because the spoiler is foam, with this adhesion promoter before we do anything else. So we're gonna clean the bumpers off, spray it with this stuff, and then we can get to primering the car. Using this to clean everything off. Couple minutes later and they're looking all good. So now we're gonna go ahead, clean the entire car, take off this tape, and get to painting. The primer is a 4-to-1 mix ratio, which means I mix 4 parts primer, 1 part hardener, mix that all up, and then that's what I spray. Alright, I gotta mix that up. Okay, so that's our primer mixed up. It's funny because the primer is like the exact same color as the Nardo Gray. A lot of you guys are giving me shit for it, but that's all good. Let's pour it in the gun. We got paint in the gun. I'm just gonna kind of start spraying, mess around with the settings, and hopefully try to get this so it works decently. Okay, well for one, this thing's sideways, gotta fix that. It works! From what I could tell, the gun settings seem perfectly fine. The paint isn't too dry, it's not too wet, it's going on pretty evenly, so I think the gun is good, and I think we're ready to start painting. Before we do that, I'm gonna go ahead, wipe the entire thing down with a tack rag, and then I'm going to dump water all over the floor, because that will help overspray. We do have an HVLP gun, which is pretty good with overspray, so it shouldn't be too bad, but never be too careful, so let's get it! I literally just dumped a ton of water all over the floor, so I'm gonna kind of spread it out with a mop. This will help dust and overspray stick to the ground. That's the purpose of this. These are so awesome. They just pick up any little dust or dirt on the car. Alright, I tack ragged everything so the car is completely dust free. The floor is nice and wet. We're ready to paint. Let's do this. Hopefully this all turns out nicely. But yeah. Alright, well, that is that. We did 3 or 4 complete layers on the car. I stopped filming after a while because it was getting really dusty in there and it was getting all over the camera. So we're gonna let it dry for a little bit and go take a look. Well, now it's looking actually like pretty decent. Like at first I was kind of like, oh, this is terrible, but it's looking pretty good. We're gonna roll it outside and then we're gonna sand it all down with like 600 grit to get it all smooth, make sure the finish is nice, because as you can tell there's some like dry spots and stuff, so that's what we're gonna do. But yeah, this is looking awesome. I did just a little bit of sanding on both the fenders, and gosh darn, do they feel awesome. I'm very excited how a little bit of sanding is making these things turn out really, really awesome. So yeah, that's a good sign. Oh, it feels so good. You can definitely feel a little bit of orange peel, but that's okay. It's gonna happen. So I'm gonna go ahead, sand down the front bumper, and then get to sanding down some of the things on the car. Look at this. This is the nicest this car has ever looked.
is that he's out here slaving away in the sun.
It's
for
much
you.
nicer out today, though.
It actually is really nice.
Yeah. So I'm not complaining about the sun.
It was like 60s today. It's
Yeah,
probably
I
like
know,
70s
I mean,
now, but
Yesterday it was 70, which was perfect temperature. Alright, a couple hours later, the car is completely done being sanded. I went over the entire thing with a 400 grit and then with an 800 grit, and it is now awesome. It needs a good cleaning, which is why you can see all the swirl mark. Oh, fuck. Oh, but it is super smooth. It's awesome. The primer is everywhere. It's all really good. The hood is sweet. It's already dusty from this stupid gravel parking lot, but it feels really awesome. My friends walk around and Snapchat me filming myself, but yeah, so I can't do this. Like, I can't do it when, oh my god. So the primer is all done. It's looking awesome. We'll do some wet sanding in between the base and the clear and doing some buffing in the clear and stuff, but it's looking really awesome. Like, I'm super happy. Honestly, as of right now, the paint is turning out better than I thought. Like, I thought it was gonna look worse than this, but it's not. I somehow managed not to get any runs anywhere and coverage over the entire thing, so it went pretty well. Watching me try to paint the car, especially since it was like my first time ever painting, by the end of it, I kind of got the hang of like what you're supposed to do, but I'm sure at the beginning it was a little cringy to watch, but it's all good. It looks awesome, all right? Seeing this car all one color, even though it is primer, is still really sweet. It's ready for base coat and clear coat. What we're gonna do in the next video is clean it off, base coat it, sand it down a little bit, clear coat it, and then that's gonna be it. Yeah, no, it's looking so much better than what it did. Like, even though it's primer, it still looks so much better now. It's all one color and it's all smooth. Like, I would honestly be happy just staying with primer, but I'm not going to. But yeah, guys, that is going to be it. Hopefully you did enjoy. If you have any questions, post them in the comment section below. I'll try to respond to everything. If you enjoyed the video, like. If you didn't, dislike. Yada, yada, yada. Same old, subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.